What up, y'all? Nothing like ice cold suds. What up? What up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Mo.J. This is the Mo you know. And I think this might be something we do on Friday as well, at least these next couple of Fridays, because once power drop, we definitely aren't going to be having no time to be doing this. But I do just want to, do a little weekly wrap up, especially if I don't get to do a live throughout the week. So we'll probably go over 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 topics. We got an Angry Orchard tonight. For some reason, I was leaving work. I was like, man, let me go pick up some Angry Orchards. I haven't had none in a while, but this is just the apple cider, so it's nothing too serious. But we're just gonna talk about some topics. Whatever you guys really want to talk about, we'll go over it. And I mean, I have a few things like I do want to talk about the farmers. I want to talk about the farmers. There are layoffs in Kansas City. The planes, I did an article on already. Pretty much whatever you guys want to talk about. You know what I mean? We got some time because I'm probably going to do a Tubi movie tonight because I didn't do anything yesterday. I was actually out of the house. I had to make some trips. But yeah, we'll knock out a few things. I'm gonna start with the farmers tonight, and then from there we'll just navigate our way through the jungle. You know what I mean? Also, I got an email today. Now this I'm gonna have to call and do some negotiating, but this right here might really change everything for this next 365 days. I just got offered a job downrange in Jordan. They emailed me. They said they see my resume. They like to get in contact with me. And I don't know, man. Jordan is kind of a dangerous area, but it's not too dangerous. But they contacted me today. Let me tell you what the email said. Hello, I came across your resume on such and such website, and I believe you'll be a great fit. We have available in Oconus and Jordan. If you're interested in the next steps, I wanted to see a good time for a quick call to discuss some more of the details. Please let me know several times you are available this coming week. Now, they emailed me this morning at 9 o'clock. Don't email me on no, I'm telling I don't give a damn. Don't email me on no Friday about no business going into the weekend. If you're gonna contact me about some business, my office hours are Monday through Thursday. I'm not contacting them back till Monday because I'm gonna jot down a few things. Like if y'all want me to come over there, what are we looking at? A 9-month contract, a year contract? Because if we do a 9-month contract, I need 80,000 tax free. Now, if I do 365 days, of course, I think it's 85,000 that isn't taxed anyway. So, of course, for the like I said, the 9 months, I'll do 85 all the way tax free. But if you guys want me to come over there for a year, I'm gonna need 110. I'm gonna need 110, and I'm gonna need allowance to pay for my spot here. You know what I mean? I'm not giving up my crib here, so I got to write down a few things. But my my I don't move for less than 80. You want me to do 9 months? I'll do 80,000 for 9 months. But if it's a year, I gotta at least get 100, and 100's on the low end because that means that's gonna be 15,000 they can tax. So you're gonna have to give me like 110. You feel me? And I'm gonna need housing allowance for a year. But we'll see. They want me to contact them. So Monday morning, I'm gonna email them, tell them I'll probably talk to them like Tuesday or Wednesday. But it is in Jordan, though. That's the only problem. There were three American soldiers that were unalived in Jordan last year. But I was looking at the map and stuff. That's like an hour and a half away from where I would be. So that's another thing. I'm like, man, if I'm coming to Jordan, that's hazardous pay, man. So I might need 120. I might need 120. I had that big buck 20. Now, if they talking about like 120, I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm taking that. But If it's for a year, like 70 or something, oh hell no, I'm not doing it. I definitely won't be able to do YouTube as much as I want to, but that'd be a year that I can stack. If I go and make 110, 120, oh, I'm coming back with 110, 120. I'm keeping all of that. I'm not, none of that money will be spent. I'll live off of what else I got coming in, but I'm gonna come back with a full 100. So I'll let you guys know. I'm gonna contact them on probably Monday. I send an email and see, but I don't know, man. It is a little dangerous down there. It is a little dangerous down there. And I was thinking, I was like, man, I'm doing a little bit of traveling. I ain't trying to be in Jordan. Incoming. They talk about, Mo, you got to get a rifle and get out there. I'm like, look, my back ain't what it used to be, man. I can go out there and get 2 or 3 kills. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into it, man. I'm Mo J. This is the Mo, you know. We might have a potential to go to the Middle East. Hey, Trill, they sent that email this morning. What time they send it? Oh no, they sent it last night. You know, I don't check my emails at the night. They sent it last night at 8:17 p.m. So if they were in Jordan, that means it was what, 10 p.m. or midnight almost. Why the hell would they? This recruiter must be in the States then. Either way, we'll see. If the money is right, oh yeah. Hey Trill, if the money is right, on the weekends you can come down to the crib, man. You got a key to the house. Crib is yours, man. Internet, everything can still be on. Just, you know what I'm saying? Just don't run up the electric or anything. Speaking of that, they just adjusted. I'm just an intro. We just getting reacquainted. They readjusted my electricity. So I got my bill. Last year I spent 1,400 euro for the year for like my electric and gas and water. Well, they ended up refunding me 500 euros. So I got 511 euro back Tuesday of this week because I was overpaying. Because you gotta, whoever lived, is Germany's weird. So whoever lived there before you, you have to pay what they were paying, and after a year, it'll adjust. So there was a family here before me, and they were spent like 1,900 over the whole year. So I ended up spending 1,400, and they gave me my refund. So I got 500 to spend. You know, tomorrow I think I'm gonna go pick up some plants for the living room. You know, I'm gonna do a little decorating, do a little, you know what I'm saying, a little swag and surfing. You know what I mean? But anyway. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about the farmers. So right now, there's a lot going on. Shout out to Torian. Shout out to my dog Eric. There's a lot going on right now. I know people been trying to debate with me, but you know, all I do is give them the facts. There's the eggs. Eggs are at an all-time high. We never seen anything like this. So another thing, you got to start looking at stuff. I mean, you know, they'll say one administration don't care about colored folk, black people. They only care about this and this. At the end of the day, it comes down to humans because the price of eggs, when those hens are laying those eggs, they don't care if it's a white consumer, a black consumer, an Asian, a Hispanic, an African, a Caribbean. Them hens don't care. They got that bird flu. They got that bird flu. But the price of eggs, that isn't for black people or white people. That's for all people. And guess what? That shit is through the roof. But everybody said we scared of change. Yeah, we scared of change, all right. We scared to be spending $25 on a goddamn egg when we used to spend, even up under Biden, like $8. That ain't bad. That ain't bad. But also, the farmers, a lot of farmers, they voted for Donald J. Trump because they believed that Donald J. Trump was going to do things for them. But we just found out that the USAID has over $500 million worth of food that's just going bad because guess what? Donald J. and President Elon Musk are holding everything up because they believe that they're cutting stuff. Now, that's going to be something we're going to go into also. All the mistakes and blunders that they're making. I got to eat. Well, did I email myself? But yeah, they've been messing up and there's some court cases. Oh, we also got crooked ass Mayor Eric Adams. I told y'all, man, shout out to my boy Eric, but don't trust no nigga with the name Eric. Can't trust no nigga with the name Eric. Old crooked Eric Adams and changed his tune and got his case dropped, but it really ain't over with. He thought he got up out of there. So what we're gonna do is talk about the farmers real quick. And the farmers are actually, guess what? Turning on Donald J. And why is that? Because I'm tired of you making them broken promises. Donald J is freezing shit, and the farmers, they ain't getting what they need. Also, we got all those tariffs that are hitting off. Come on, computer, load up. Get this thing cracking. What's going on, Belicious? So the farmers are very, very upset. Well, I'll wait for that to load. Farmers face huge impact from Trump's USAID freeze. Oh, this ain't no article. It's just we gotta wait on this load thing. Oh, of course, these foods are in Kansas too. It's interesting how all of this stuff changes. I used to watch my mom watches.
International lead American businesses feeling this.
And here I am, an adult myself, and I just watch the news outside of TV shows. I just watch the news. What up, Jay?
Squeeze from the economy. They're dealing with rising inflation, hitting 3% for the first time since last June.
Damn. I wonder where my other nephew's at, because I was talking to my other nephew. He was telling me people are scared of change, and he voted for Donald J because he thought that Donald J was going to make the interest rate and everything go down. And I was telling them everything. I was laying out the facts to him that it wasn't. It was only going to get worse. And well, look at us. And he was telling me a box, I forgot what his favorite cereal was, but a box of his favorite cereal up under Biden, he said was like $6. Guess what? I asked him, I said, how much is that cereal box now? That cereal is now $8. It was $6. He said, I remember because he joined the military, he was like, man, I remember when I first started buying cereal, it was like $4. I was like, yeah, well, every year, everything's always going to go up. And then it was like the $6 last year before the election. And he was like, yeah, I voted for Trump because, he's saying he's going to do this with the groceries and everything. I said, man, that motherfucker's a liar, nephew. He ain't going to do nothing that he's talking about. So I hit him up last week because, I got to troll him. I say, hey, how much that cereal costs? He said, man, and that shit like $8. I said, I told you. I said, them interest rates ain't went down, had they? He's like, nah, man, they ain't went down. I said, I told you. This guy is a liar. He is a criminal, a 34-time convicted felon. He owes $468 million to the state of New York for tax fraud, inflating and deflating. This guy is a criminal. But hey, I'm just a black guy that reads up on things. Raisin Bran or whatever it's called. CJ, no.
There is also, of course, President Trump's tariffs on steel and aluminum that could result in increased U.S. manufacturing costs, and the president's attempts to slash USAID, the main agency that oversees foreign aid. That is having a big blowback when it comes to the American farmer. The U.S. government, after all, bought more than $2 billion in food aid from American farmers back in 2020. Now about $340 million worth of food assistance reportedly is on hold amid the president's freeze. That's leaving the nation's farmers, many of whom voted for Mr. Trump, in limbo. It even has some Republicans sounding the alarm. Republican Senator Jerry Moran of Kansas recently tweeting, time is running out before this life-saving aid perishes.
Let's read the whole thing. He said, I urge Secretary Rubio to distribute the $340 million in American-grown food currently stalled in U.S. ports to reach those in need. Now, the food that these farmers and stuff are sending it out. Now, the government buys this, and they use it as the aid to send to other countries. But that's how the farmers eat. The only problem is Trump froze all of it. So now these farmers, because you got to remember, a lot of our food that we get here, there's only a certain amount of products that we actually grow here in the States. Like you got your corn, of course, that's out in Kansas. You got your Florida oranges and shit like that. But a lot of this food that you eat is imported from other countries. Now we're getting tariffs on there. That's 25% on almost everything that they bring it in. So these farmers are dependent on this USAID to buy their food and send it to these other countries. But guess what? That ain't gonna work because they believe that sending money and food to other countries is a bad thing. When in reality, it's a good thing for us. But they're freezing everything, and we're just gonna see everything climb through the roof.
It's currently stalled in U.S. ports, he said. Joining us right now from Cortland, Kansas, is Nick Lewandowski. He's the executive director of the Kansas Farmers Union. Nick, thanks for joining us. Can you explain, if you can, how American farmers work with USAID and what the impact of what's been going on in Washington this last week or so has been?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jake. And the impact that it has on farmers is huge. But farmers are really just the starting point when it comes to this food aid. They're the ones that grow these crops here in Kansas and all over the country. Primarily wheat and grain sorghum here in Kansas are the main products that are used in this food aid. They then sell that grain to their local grain cooperative elevators or to a grain merchandiser. And then USAID would go in and put out contracts for bid to get that grain and then take it to these ports and then move it out to those places in need all across the world. And of course, when USAID was frozen last week, that all stopped. That came to a screeching halt.
Now, you see the crazy thing, the contradiction of all this? These farmers, the same ones that voted for Trump, stop sending our money to the Ukraine. Stop sending money to these other countries. But now that your shit's frozen at the docks, at the ports, now you talking about, hey, free it up. No. Stop sending our food to other countries. You see what I'm saying? They'll go with, hey, stop sending our money to the Ukraine. When we're not sending money, it's mostly military aid, old weapons and artillery and shit of that nature, training. But when it comes to them, now they're out here crying, talking about, hey, send our, no. Keep our food here in America. Don't send it nowhere else. Just like you don't want to send money, all that food you guys are getting, the tax cuts you get for owning farms, no, let that shit sit out there and rot. Don't send it to another country. Keep it here in America. Keep it here. Why are we deporting people? Why are we going to send food? Why y'all want to send food everywhere else, but y'all want to deport people? But then again, the farmers don't want to deport people because guess what? Their crops, they're not coming through. See, it's just ignorance. It's overall ignorance. They don't know what the hell they talking about. Oh, we're sending all this money. And we're going to get on you, Elon, because your dumb ass, you ain't saving no money, fool. And all you idiots, yeah, I'm calling you an idiot. All you idiots that think you're going to get $5,000 from the money that they saving, how? But I'll break that down in a minute. And I want anybody to try to say, oh, dirt, just shut up. You're a god-darn idiot if you think you're going to get $5,000. You could barely get $1,200 during the pandemic. You think you're going to get $5,000? I tell you, man, people are just...
And grain sorghum farmers, especially here in Kansas, were the first to get hit with that because the USAID program, Food for Peace program, was the main direct market for their grain.
This comes at a time, of course, when farmers are already struggling.
Yes, they are. Right now, we're looking at all-time historic lows for commodity prices. When I say commodities, I mean the crops that farmers grow. But we're also looking at all-time high input costs. So the seed costs, as farmers are getting ready to plant this spring, their seed costs are exceedingly high, but so are the chemicals and the fertilizers, but also the fuel that they need, and then the equipment that it takes to run. And you throw in a steel tariff now that we have, that just drives up the price of that equipment because there's a lot of steel that goes into farm equipment.
2024 CNN exit poll showed President Trump winning rural voters by a huge margin, 64% for Trump, 34% for Harris. Many of these rural voters are from farm-driven communities. What are you hearing?
What I'm saying, they voted against their own interests. Exactly. But he said all of this. Everything that he's doing, he said all of it. Of course, you know, Project 2025, they say he ain't a part of it. He may not be a part of it. Wink, wink. But he's hiring everybody that is a part of it. Hell, if we got time, I got some shit for Cash Patel's trash ass. But this is what you guys wanted. This is what you guys wanted. So now we see all these rural voters. Oh, yeah, Trump, man. He's going to make America great, man. He's going to get rid of the illegals. You need the illegals. That's the only way you can afford and keep the overhead good, because you're paying them $4 or $5 a day. But now, hey, man, I don't want to hear any crying. If your food rots out there, hey, it rots out there, because guess what? This is what you voted for. You wanted this. You got it. I know everybody says, oh, Kamala wasn't going to do. I guarantee we wouldn't be looking like this. We wasn't like this up on the goddamn Biden. No matter what you feel, we weren't like this. It's been 1 month now, and every single day is some extra BS. Now they want everyone to come in to work because they're off playing tennis. Guess where Donald Trump was for the 3rd time this week?
From your members, are they sticking with Trump? Are they happy about this? Do they see a bright side at all?
Well, I'll tell you, our membership is pretty evenly split, fairly evenly split when it comes to politics. In fact, we might lean a little more to the left when it comes to some things. We're pretty progressive on a lot of our policies. But farmers, I think, are they're nervous, they're anxious. This is a real time of uncertainty for farmers, and they don't need any more uncertainty added to it. So when you start losing markets, when you start raising tariffs, it does cause some angst in the community. I think, you know, farmers, for the most part, that supported Trump are going to continue to support him until they start hurting more. And nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants that. They didn't vote for these things. They didn't vote for food aid to stop going to hungry people all across the world. And they certainly didn't vote for tariffs that hurt their markets.
They certainly didn't vote for 500 tons of it to be rotting on in America's ports. Nick Lewandowski, thanks so much. Appreciate your time today, sir.
Thank you, Nick. We appreciate that, Nicholas. Let me see. We got one more thing as far as the farmers, and then we'll carry on. This one's PBS. This one might be a little bit longer than I thought it would be.
In the last 2 presidential elections, farmers voted overwhelmingly for Donald Trump. But now some farmers are saying his efforts to cut the government are causing major financial pressure. William Brangham has more.
Jeff,
Man, why I want to go full screen, man? Every time we get on here, they want to do some nonsense, some fugazi. There we go.
The biggest changes affecting farmers are a freeze on some USDA programs and a near shutdown of spending by USAID, which buys about $2 billion of products from farmers every year. About 40% of the government's food assistance comes from American farms. Others say they're on the hook for contracts for
But hey, remember, they don't want people on food stamps. They don't want people on WIC. That means the government ain't gonna buy it from you no more. Remember, that was one thing they voted for. Oh man, everybody living off of government assistance. That government assistant assisted your ass. The government was assisting you by buying food and product off of you so that people can buy it at an affordable price. Damn, that's crazy how that works, right? You don't want people on government assistance, but you want the assistance from them to buy your product. You want government assistance from them to send your product to people across the world because they're buying yours at a surplus. But you don't want the people that can't afford it to be able to get it off of government assistance. Hey, man, that's what they say when Trump says he loves the uneducated. This is who he's talking about. I'm not saying like these farmers are like dummies or anything, but they aren't aware of really what's going on. They just hear what he's spewing, like, hey, we're going to get people off of government assistance. We're going to help everybody out. No, they're not. When they say government assistance, they mean all y'all foods. When you sell your food to the government, that's government assistance. The government doesn't have to buy from you. The government is going to buy from you because, excuse me, it's America's duty, and it's already in the budget that they got to send foreign aid out. No matter what president it is, they're going to send foreign aid out. Trump's talking all of that, but they sent $1 billion to Ukraine when he first got in office in the first week. So no matter who you are as a president, that is a requirement, because guess what? The president doesn't dictate the spending of America. Congress does, and they have an obligation to do that. So these farmers, oh man, yeah, man, Trump's getting all these black folk off of government assistance. Now you sitting here crying because your ass was on government assistance also. You're not selling all your crops to stores. They were sending your shit across seas in order to fulfill our not military, but our freaking aid that we send out across the globe. These are requirements, but they don't look at this. It's all surface level. So they're thinking they're going to get helped out, but in reality, you're not. Now, this is to say that I would know all of this. I didn't. I took a couple of economic classes, and that's how I really found out about it. You know, I went in for international trade. So for me, as far as like the aid that they're sending out, I knew about that, the USAID. I knew about that for at least like 10 years now. But I started reading more into the farmers, and I realized that when these farmers, when you go out there, you see them, all of their food isn't going to the market. It isn't going to the stores. A majority of it is getting bought by the government, and it's getting shipped off to other places. And that's where these tariffs and stuff come in, because some countries, obviously, they don't have the climate to grow certain products or certain produce like we do, just like how we get fruit from other countries. So I never knew all of that. But these farmers, all they know is we do this and the government buys it. They don't know what the next step is or what's behind that. They just know as long as we get this much, the government's going to buy this much. That's technically government assistance, but they don't know any of this. So now they're looking like, wait a minute. If he halts that, then we don't get anything. But we were also voting for Trump to not help out other countries and keep everything here in America. Well, guess what? If you keep all this shit here in America that they're buying off of you, it's never going to leave anywhere. And guess what? If it's frozen at the docks, that means your check is frozen because it didn't get sent anywhere. But they don't know none of this. They just voting because it sounds good. But now look at their ass. They crying. We didn't vote for this. Yeah, you did. This is exactly what you voted for. He told you everything he was going to do, and your dumb ass voted for it. So deal with it. Deal with it. What up, OT? What up, Candy, Mozzie? My bad, y'all. You know, I get passionate about this. Oh, I got a dozen eggs in the kitchen right now, OT. I got a dozen eggs in the kitchen right now. Ladies, hey, you come to Mo's crib, you eating good. What you want? You want 2 scrambled? What you want? Over easy? You come to Mo house, ooh, you living good. But don't get too comfortable. Don't get too comfortable. It's enough eggs to go around. You come to my crib, oh, it's a whole dozen in there. I just bought a dozen yesterday. Guess what I spent for a dozen? Yeah. 5, 40, 8. Oh, you come to my house. What you want? You want scrambled? You want some cheese in there too? I know you want them cheesy ones, huh? You gonna make them eggs cheesy with them grits or no? Oh, you want a little bit of pepper on there? All right. Now I might make you an omelet, girl. What you want? You want some peppers in there? Yeah, I like me some spicy omelet too. Let me get back to this live because these damn farmers over here, they crying. They voted for Trump. Yeah, they voted for Trump. They crying right now. Yeah, all right, girl, go ahead. You can take 2 eggs home. Call me. My bad, y'all. My bad. Them eggs are crazy. You know what I'm saying? They going crazy for eggs over here.
Renewable energy equipment that the government promised to help with. We talked to several people in this field, a flower farmer, a beekeeper, a produce farmer, and the CEO of a nonprofit that delivers food aid to children in Haiti.
Slowly, we've figured out that we've lost about a quarter to a third of our funding, and we have no sense of whether some of those pauses are permanent or temporary or when that money can or will come in.
We've worked with USAID in several capacities in the past, usually through key partnerships we have on the ground in Haiti. And so with the absence of that, it really sets things back significantly.
If it goes past the next couple of weeks, we're really going to be in a tight spot. We're really probably going to have to either add more debt to our mortgage, or we're going to have to seriously consider closing up shop and not operating.
We received a grant from the government about a year ago, and that's when we signed this contract for a solar panel system on our new barn. We still owe about $36,000 to the solar company that was supposed to come from the government. We never would.
Damn, they got solar panels and they got a grant from the government. Trump came in there and said, no. We got a lot of stuff to cover because all this stuff, they just put in for the new budget. Remember they said no tax on tips? They said no tax on overtime. Guess what? When they put that new budget in, neither one of those was listed on the budget. Neither one was listed on the new budget. They just lied. But that's what politicians do. But guess what? That black lady that they said wasn't black. Oh, yeah. VP Kamala Harris. At least you wouldn't be out here on your farm crying. I guarantee that USAID would have went through. You had 4 years of no problems. Damn, crazy, right? See, a lot of people try to make it a black and white thing. Of course, you want black rights. You want to be able to, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to just right down the middle, like everyday survival, your food, we talking about the price of eggs. Them hens don't care if you black or white. They gonna lay them eggs, but that price, it's gonna go up. And if you white, you're gonna pay that price. If you black, you're gonna pay that price. But hey, I was arguing with some fool, tried to tell me that prices of eggs was like this up under Biden. Had to call him out. And every week, I just shoot a jab at him. Because one thing you're not going to be able to do, if you try to prove me wrong and I know I'm right, I'm on your ass for the rest of your life. That's just the way it is. This ain't no pause moment because this is serious shit here. This is world economics. If you try to prove me wrong and try to clown me on something that I know I'm talking about, I'm on your ass. So don't worry. March 1st, I'll be back in Torian's Discord, and I'm going to tag that person, and I'm going to let them know. Eggs wasn't this high, were they, nigga?
Would have signed a contract with the government for these solar panels if we thought we'd be paying the full amount.
We're looking at about $40,000 in losses, and then about $20,000 in additional income we won't be able to make. So about $60,000 in loss as we calculate it right now, and then about $115,000 in potential grant funds that we now know we won't be receiving for 2025.
115,000. 36,000 that they own solar panels. Let's just put that at 150. The 20,000 that they not gonna get on the income, that's damn 170,000. And it's only February. It's only February. And this gentleman's talking about they're gonna have to close up shop. They already hit over the head for 170 in February, people.
If this never goes through, we would look to lose about 45,000. And the impacts for us would be pretty detrimental. We're one of the larger winter grain growers in Maine, so we grow a lot of spinach, kale, and chard this time of year that helps them stock their shelves with fresh produce this time of year that can be hard to get in Maine. So what that means for them is they're going to run out of a supplier to have those options.
When funding that is dependent on at this level is cut and cut so quickly, we underestimate the impact that it makes throughout the world and the potential lives that may be lost and the talent that may be lost.
The fact that this business I've been building for 7 years, this career I've been building for 12, is now under attack by the people in the executive branch of the federal government who are supposed to look out for American interests and are instead looking out for the interests of the 1%.
Already, farmers are shrinking their businesses, and I'm really afraid about the future of farming if all these programs just go away.
For some further perspective on all of this, we are joined now by Nick Lewandowski. He's the executive director.
This man Nick been on a run, ain't he? He on a run. Nick, hey, you part of the farmers union. You better figure it out, Nick. Nick, look, let me tell you something, Nick. It's honorable what you're doing, but we heard you on the CNN. You said some of your policies y'all lean left, so that means you're mostly right. You need to take your ass to DC. You getting on PBS, CNN ain't gonna do a mother effing thing. You need to take your goofy ass to DC and figure some shit out. Because you getting on here with us, I'm not doing nothing but laughing at you. Because you look like one of them voters. And you in Kansas, so I know who you voted for. So you need to go down to Washington, D.C. You need to talk to your senators in Kansas. And you need to figure it out. Because PBS ain't going to help you. PBS, they paid. They paid, Playboy. So you need to go figure it out. That's what PBS stands for. Paid Playboy. Go figure that out. You on all these interviews in that same suit. You need to be downtown Julie Brown figuring it out. You in charge of the union. They crying. They need your help, Nicholas.
Director of the Kansas Farmers Union. Nick, thank you so much for being here. You heard all of those complaints that people are making about the way in which this federal cost cutting is unfolding and impacting them. How common is that to what you're hearing from your own members?
It's very common, William, and thank you for having me, and thank you for covering this important topic. I've had conversations here over the last couple of weeks now with members and farmers all across Kansas and frankly all across the country through the connections I have with National Farmers Union. And there is great concern all across the country, and it just adds more uncertainty to an already uncertain situation.
For people who may have been somewhat surprised that there was this connection between American farmers and USAID, can you sort of explain that broader mechanism, how it works?
Yeah, well, we take great pride in especially a certain part of USAID, the Food for Peace program here in Kansas. It was born here back in 1953, signed into law by another great Kansan, Dwight D. Eisenhower, in 1954. And it was brought about because we had a glut of commodities or grain crops here in the U.S. We were producing more than we needed and could consume, but there were also places all over the world, especially in Europe, that was just recovering from World War II. So we were sending those products over there. And since then, that program has fed upwards of 4 billion people in the 70-some years that it has been in existence. But farmers grow the crops here in Kansas, and they deliver that product to those places all across the world.
I mean, in addition to those financial stresses, there's also some other looming things coming down the road. I mean, there's inflation that they're obviously dealing with, commodities prices, et cetera. How much cushion do farmers have to weather this financial storm?
There's very little cushion. You mentioned the cuts that are happening, the freezes and all of those things. But those high cost inputs are what's really hurting right now. The seed, the chemicals, the fertilizers, the fuel that is needed, farm equipment is extremely expensive, and bankers are not loaning out tons of money to farm.
Speaking about farm equipment being expensive, I think it's John Deere. I was just watching a documentary on John Deere and how John Deere gets over. So they sell all of their equipment. I don't know, this is just random, but since we're talking about farmers. So what John Deere does is they sell all their equipment, and it's kind of like Tesla. Now, when something happens to your John Deere equipment, you can't fix it on your own. Now everything is electronic. They got to send a technician out. You can't even go to the shop and get one of the boxes to diagnose whatever's wrong with your vehicle. You have to send it in. So this is how they make billions on your vehicles breaking down. Just like Tesla, you got to take it to a certified Tesla mechanic. You can't just do it yourself or you void the warranty. John Deere does the same thing. And these farmers, they upset because they make like $2 billion just on repairs a year. And that's more than what they sell. It's crazy, man. But that's business.
Farmers right now. In fact, bankers are pulling back. And then you throw in the idea of more tariffs, a trade war, and then the cuts to positions at USDA just at the end of last week. Crucial positions in the Farm Service Agency offices, the NRCS offices that are all over the country. These are folks who are integral to American agriculture, and those positions are now gone, and people that were working in those offices have now had to pick up more of the slack.
We asked the White House about some of these criticisms, and this is the statement that they gave us. They wrote, the Biden administration crushed American agriculture with regulatory uncertainty, crippling inflation, trade imbalances, and radical environmental policies. Thankfully, President Trump is already delivering relief by unleashing American energy and cutting 10 regulations for every new regulation. He will continue to make all agencies more efficient to better serve the American people, including our hardworking farmers.
You hear that? They never answer the question directly. Hey, what are you going to do about the farmers? Oh, we're unleashing more energy. We don't need more energy, fool. We need you to buy the food. It just, everybody in the White House is just a damn useless pawn. Every single person hired and appointed is a useless pawn. And it's going to take some serious fuck ups. Like, I'm talking about catastrophic before the Republicans in the Senate come to their mind and Congress starts like, hell no, we got to start blocking this. It'll eventually happen. Watch. We'll start seeing the Republicans start voting with the Democrats because they like, oh, hell no, we can't let this go through. It's only going to be a matter of time because these farmers, everyone that's suffering, these white folks, these quote unquote non-DEI hires, they're going to start getting affected, and people going to start looking out for their family members, and enough of them going to turn on Trump. Right now, they're in fear for their life. They're in fear for potentially losing their jobs, being called out. Trump now has that. Well, he already had it because he was elected, but he's got the DOJ with him. He's got the FBI. He's got the district attorney, the state's attorney. Well, not the state's attorney, but he has a U.S. district attorney. So a lot of people are afraid, but by the end of the year, you're going to start seeing a shift. Slowly during the summertime, you're going to see one or two people starting to switch over. Then we got the midterms next year, which you need to go out there and vote. If you live in a red state, y'all need to go out and vote and try to swing that a little bit. Not saying that, you know what I'm saying, you can still support your side or whatever, but if you want shit to kind of make a little bit of sense, then you want to kind of swing it, because we know that the Republicans, they can't make a budget by themselves. They've never done a budget that's been proper. It's never went through. It's always failed. The Democrats have always had to save them on that. But hey, everyone just looks at the top. What do they say? Oh, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden. But remember, the president and vice president don't really have any say so. It's all in Congress. The only way all of this is getting pushed through is because of Congress. Because if Congress was on the left, then they would veto all of these people that came in. Congress has the power. Now you got these executive orders, but you see that the judges are blocking some of these executive orders. But again, they didn't answer any questions on how they're going to help the farmers. All they're talking about is, hey, we're going to release more energy. We don't need energy. We already produce the most oil in the world.
I mean, the White House is arguing, in essence, that they were elected to do this, and that these policies are what what the American public more broadly want. How true is that for your members?
Well, I don't think there's a whole lot of truth to their statement. Blaming the past administration, I think, is an odd way to go. If you're in charge now, it's your job to take this on. I would say, though, that there are a lot of people who are very concerned out there who voted for this administration. But, you
hear them? Just like a lot of the farmers in the union, they voted for this. But what did he say? You can't blame the previous administration because you're in there now. That's because all these farmers, see, he's the union rep. Well, not the rep, but he's like the president. So for him, he's not an actual farmer. He's making his $150,000 a year. His $200,000 is coming in. But everyone in that union, they own his ass. Like, hey, you got to start speaking. Yeah, we voted for Trump, but you got to start speaking up for us. That's how it's going to turn once it gets to Congress. Everybody in the district will be like, hell no, man. We done lost all our jobs and shit because of this food. So they going to start turning on Trump like, hell no, we got to do something to stop him. It's going to take a little while. That's why I said we'll get through it. It's all, like, it's going to be tough, but we'll get through it eventually. But you see all these union reps, because we know Trump and Elon, they don't like unions. But his ass, he voted for Trump too. And now he's out here. Man, I don't think you can blame the other administration. You in there now, because reality is set. Y'all motherfuckers fucked up. And you screwed yourself over.
So they wrote it all down in Project 2025. I guess we should have paid a little closer attention.
What I did, everything I'm explaining, he's now saying that shit. They broke it down in Project 2025. You should have paid a little. We paid attention to it. The people that didn't pay attention to it were the people that supported the dumb shit. You thought it was all, yeah, man, we're going to do our thing. See, I'm telling you, it's all going to eventually, it's going to be tough. It's going to be some fucked up situations. Of course, Trump is going to skate out of all of this because the Supreme Court is on his side also. But look at him. He's like, man, we probably should have paid more attention. We told y'all what the fuck they were doing.
To what was in that. I read the agriculture section. I know it better than I probably should. But it was there. It was all in writing. We probably should have paid closer attention to it. I'll just say this. I think it's time for this administration to recognize who put them into office, and also to understand that these people are hurting, and this only adds to the hurt that they're already dealing with.
All right, Nick Lewandowski of the Kansas Farmers Union. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate your time.
Look at you, Nick. You looking fucking pitiful. Now you got to get your dumb ass on here because everyone's on your ass. He said, I know the agriculture part more than anybody, more than I should know. Maybe we should have. Nah, ain't no maybe we should have, nigga. Maybe you should have paid closer attention and told the union workers what the hell they were talking about, Nick. This is on you, Nick. You the union president. I guess we should. Nah, it ain't no we should have paid you. You were the union president. You should have told all the people in the union, hey, man, this shit ain't right, man. Don't vote for this motherfucker, man. Don't vote for this motherfucker. But nah, Nick, don't say we, Nick. You said you know it better than anybody, Nick. This is on you. That's why I told you to take your get to DC, Nick. Get to D. You fucked up, Nick. And now everybody is paying for it, Nick. Because I'm pretty sure you was in there. Of course, you in the union. You ain't supposed to lobby people like, hey, man, we gotta vote for this. But yeah, Nick, on your off hours, you probably tell people, yeah, man, we get him back in office. It's going to be smooth selling for us. Damn, Nick, you done told on yourself. How you know all about Project 2025, but trying to say we should have paid attention? You said you know it better than anybody. You know more than you should know. Maybe you should have paid attention, Nick, or maybe you did, and they offered you some money, Nick. Now we got to do a deep dive on Nick's finances. We got to see how Nick Lebowski is living, because it seems like you took some money, Nicholas. You're not going to skate up out of this one. And now everyone in the union is like, fuck no, Nick, go speak up for us. Nicholas. Oh, yeah, see? This is how you become a suspect. Now we need to do, now I got to do a little digging into this Nick character and find out how much he makes. If there's a possibility he took some money. What's up, William? Damn. Nick done told on himself. Nick said, I know Project 25 better than anybody. All right, man. There we go. That's the farmers. There goes the farmers. Good old Saint Nick. What we got? What else we got, guys? I wanted to talk about the farmers. That's really all I wanted to talk about because I was watching what they had going on. We got the tariff, man. We got a lot of stuff. Doge is lying. They talk about. Oh, matter of fact, let me. Let me see. We'll go with a Fox 5. Let's see what the hell they talking about. Shit, I'm just chilling, William. How you been, brother? All right. So next, what we're going to talk about is this Doge, and it'll probably be a deep dive. Obviously, we're not just going to talk about the $5,000 check that they're supposedly offering, but this is just to shut you up. You know what I mean? Lead you on. So it says a $5,000 Doge check. Trump backs the idea to send some savings to Americans. All right.
And now to the very latest on President Donald Trump's overhaul of the federal government as cuts and layoffs continue to hit a variety of sectors, including the IRS. Fox 5's Antoine Lewis is live in the newsroom with the very latest from Washington. Antoine.
Bianca, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. As we've been reporting over these cuts the past couple of weeks, they have been reverberating through multiple sectors of the federal government. And as you mentioned, Bianca, today we're going to start with the Internal Revenue Service. The AP is reporting that thousands of IRS employees will be laid off, happening in the middle of the tax season. Now, among the concerns raised with these cuts are, of course, delays in processing tax returns for Americans who are relying on their refunds. Now, so far, nearly 5,000 employees of the Department of Health and Human Services, we'll talk about them, they have also been laid off, the bulk coming from the Centers for Disease Control, where nearly a tenth of its staff have been let go, according to reports. Now, these cuts come as the country is dealing with a bird flu outbreak that has sent egg prices soaring at U.S. groceries and markets. Cuts and layoffs also impacting the National Park Service, where nearly 1,000 probationary employees, some just hired, have been let go. These firings were not publicly announced, but confirmed by Democratic members of the House and the Senate. And the amount of money the U.S. sends overseas has also been impacted. There are exemptions to tell you about those.
See, I thought this was going to be talking about the we'll get into the IRS in a minute. But anyway, $5,000 Doge check. Trump backs the idea of sending savings to the Americans. President Trump on Wednesday said he loves the idea of giving some of the savings from Elon Musk's Doge back to U.S. citizens as a kind of dividend. Trump said the administration is considering a concept in which 20% of the savings produced by Doge's cost-cutting efforts goes to Americans. Doge's efforts have already led to thousands of federal government employees being fired or laid off, and some of its works is facing legal challenges. And what they mean by that facing legal challenges is what up, RC, is Doge doesn't have the power to lay nobody off. Neither does Donald Trump. There's some judges. There's a judge that I think it was, I want to say 14 district attorneys from 14 states. They actually sued and the judge dismissed it. But the only reason the judge dismissed it is because it was too vague. They were just saying with Elon Musk getting into like the Social Security and things. So what they got to do is kind of zero it down and show what the effects and the negative effects would be with Doge doing all of this. So that's not actually done. And then there's a lot of firing going on, but these idiots don't know what they're doing because none of them are qualified and they got 19 and 20-year-olds in here. So they're firing too many people and too many people in important jobs, positions that they're trying to hire back. We'll get to that after this Doge. I'm gonna break this down on why this won't work, but these idiots believe it'll work because Trump said it. So President Trump said on Wednesday he loves the idea of giving some of the savings from billionaire businessman Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, which isn't a real department. It takes Congress, 2/3 of Congress to make a new department, or Doge, back to U.S. citizens as a kind of dividend. Trump indicated support twice, first while attending an investment conference in Miami and later aboard Air Force One. Trump backs the idea of Doge dividends for the U.S. citizens. Here's the backstory. Since Trump took office in January, one of his top priorities was cutting and recognizing spending with the reorganizing spending within the federal government, tapping Musk to lead Doge, which has been tasked with finding what to cut. Already, Doge's efforts have led to thousands of federal government employees being fired or laid off, and some of his work is facing legal challenges in court. Here's the timeline. In an interview that aired earlier this week with Fox Sean Hannity, Trump and Musk said they expect to find $1 trillion in excess federal spending that could be slashed. Then X user James Fishback wrote on a post, tagged Elon Musk, and outlined his plan to take 20% of the savings found by Doge and send it back to the hardworking Americans as a tax refund. It was their money in the first place. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Fishback noted that if Doge achieves the goal of cutting $2 trillion in federal spending, that would provide 78 million tax-paying households in the U.S. $5,000 or the Dodge dividend per household, with the remainder used to pay down the national debt. Do they not? Just real quick, the debt for the United States of America is $36 trillion. If they cut $2 trillion and give $78 million people times $5,000, 100,000 million, 390 billion minus the 2 trillion, 100,000 million, billion, 100,000 million, billion, 2 trillion. The national debt is 36 trillion. If you give everybody $5,000, we're going to have $1.6 trillion to put to the 36 trillion. You really paying down the debt, ain't you? You putting $1.6 trillion to a $36 trillion debt. Man, thanks, Elon and Donald Trump. You guys are really cutting American debt down. When you forgot after your 4 years, you added $8 trillion to the debt. The most by any president ever. Ever. So tell me, does that make sense? We're trying to pay the national debt down, but we're going to give out $390 million. You're not paying shit down. You're not even making a dent. You're not cutting anything to make a significant change in the national debt. You added 8 trillion, the most by any president ever in history. You're already adding more debt to the clock. It just doesn't make sense. But you hear people, oh man, we're going to get $5,000. How are you going to get $5,000 when they can't even find $2 trillion? Elon Musk just got on TV and said there was an $8 billion contract. It wasn't an $8 billion contract. It was an $8 million contract over 3 years. And there was only $2 million left on it. They're lying. They said there was $50 million worth of condoms going to Hamas. It wasn't. It was the military, I'm not the military, but it was the aid that was already set apart to stop a world pandemic of HIV. So they sent off all those condoms to try to slow it down so we won't be in the same kind of pandemic when HIV was at its height in the early 90s. But these idiots are just saying shit and people believe everything that they're talking about. You're not getting fucking $5,000. Doge isn't a real department. Trump doesn't have the power to give out any money. It's not going to happen. But these people say that. It's just frustrating. So 78 million tax-paying households in the U.S. with about a $5,000 refund or Doge dividend per household, with the remainder used to pay down the national debt. So $36 trillion debt, we put in 1.6 to it. So that'll put us at 35.1. Or what is it at? It's 36.5, 1.6. So we'd be at 34.9 trillion. Oh man, thanks. You guys are really doing your thing. We'll check the president Musk replied on Tuesday in response to the Post. What we know, a day later, while attending an investment conference in Miami, Trump confirmed that the administration is considering a concept in which 20% of the savings produced by Doge cost-cutting efforts goes to U.S. citizens, and another 20% goes to paying down not the whole 1.6 trillion. 20%. Let's do the math. 20% of 2 trillion, $390 million. So now we got 1.6. Now we got 1.6. They said another 20% goes to paying down the national debt. Times 20%. Oh shit. Times 0.2. So they're cutting all of these jobs. They're going to find $2 trillion to put on the $36 trillion, right? 20% of the $2 trillion, $390 million, $5,000 checks. Boom, 1.6 billion, 1.6 trillion. Another 20%, which is only 320 million, goes to paying down the 36 trillion in debt. So where is the other 60% going? Where's the other 60% going? 20% in $5,000 checks, 20% to the debt. Where's that other 60 going? Where's the other 60? Well, we don't know. Oh, here we go. Trump did not share any additional details, such as the plan or what the other 60% of Doge savings would go to. If I can figure this shit out on the fly, where's the other 60% going? Oh, that's right. Elon Musk, he makes $8 million a day. He got a $3 billion contract. You know that? So while he's cutting everything and bringing his employees in for the FAA, because the FAA fined him $600,000 and he made the director step down because he wants to bypass all that shit, he got $8 million a day. Why don't we cut his $3 billion? Because we don't know where the other 60% going. Where's that 1.2 billion going, guys? Where's that 1.2 going? What y'all think? Y'all think it's going to a good cause, like homeless, or what y'all think? All right, William. What y'all think? What y'all think? Where would you put, if you were Donald Trump, where would you put that 1.2 billion? I know you're gonna put it somewhere good. What you doing with that 1.2 billion that's left? You would think we would pay down as much of the debt as possible, but no, we only gonna put $320 billion to the debt. What we doing, guys? Where we putting that money at? It's 60% left. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's enough to go around for everybody. What up, Trill? Hey, Trill, baby. Well, you can't really get too much into the politics, but where would you put $1.2 billion at? I mean, $1.2 trillion. It's $1.2 trillion that's going to be left over. Where we putting that at? We're probably going to put that into the infrastructure. We're probably going to build like new highways, maybe give it to the programs around the countries, maybe give it to the Department of Education. It's 1.2 trillion. I'm trying to figure out where we're going to send it to. Interesting. Oh, damn. It didn't already went up $2 million since we've been on here talking. Medicare, Medicaid. That's at 1 trillion, but don't worry, they cutting that. Well, the defense already has their budget. Defense is what, 880 million a year. That's already at I don't even know why they put this Doge clock up here. The crazy thing, like, so everything on here, just so you can get an understanding of what this is the debt clock. It's not the most accurate. Well, it is the most accurate, but of course it isn't accurate. But did you not notice, though, the reason Doge is up here is because this is $121 billion that they putting us in debt. Everything on here is the debt. So you look at Doge, they're running it up too. They're putting us in debt also. Oh man, we ain't never gonna be updated like China. China is state ran, but that's the same thing. That Doge shit, it's not gonna work. Let's just go ahead and nip that in the butt. You're not getting a $5,000 check. All right, you're not getting a $5,000 check. We don't know where the other 60% is going. So that right there is already telling you this is. If they actually had a plan instead of a concept, they would have said we're doing 20% back to the people. We're going to put 50% back into paying off to the debt. And then we would invest the other 30% into like infrastructure. But we already got an infrastructure bill, thanks to Joe Biden. We already got the CHIPS Act, the Infrastructure Act, the CHIPS Act, all of that, thanks to Joe Biden. Now, initially, Donald Trump was talking about cutting all of that, but they realized that's good. So once these buildings and everything started getting built, I guarantee Trump's going to take credit for the infrastructure and the CHIPS Act. We already know he's going to try to take credit for it, but it is what it is. So that's pretty much it there. Let me see if we can get.
Performing on the biggest stage in the world was just one step in my journey.
Hi. Elon Musk has floated the idea of a Doge dividend, a proposed $5,000 check for American taxpayers, paid for by the money Doge expects to save through its slashing of government waste and fraud. The proposed check would potentially be sent out to Americans in the summer of 2026 after Doge completes its review. And while Musk says he's sharing the idea with the president, he also says balancing the budget remains the team's priority. The premise of the Doge dividend starts here. A letter from James Fishback explaining how Doge...
Now, real quick, though, this, like I said, the whole Doge thing hasn't got thrown out because they are getting access to Social Security and everything, which they definitely shouldn't have access to any of that. When they told the judge Elon Musk didn't have anything to do with this. But we keep hearing that Elon is the one telling Trump all about it. So there are some judges that are holding it down. So hopefully they continue to do that, because what's going on right now is complete fraud.
Doge could deliver its saved taxpayer dollars back to the American taxpayer. Fishback says, here's how the dividend works. Doge is targeting $2 trillion in total savings. Take 20% of Doge's total saving, $400 billion, and return it to the 79 million households that will be taxpayers in 2025 as a tax refund check called the Doge dividend. Fishback says the benefits of the dividend is it compensates American taxpayers for the egregious misuse and abuse of their hard-earned tax dollars. Elon Musk responded to Fishback's letter posted on X, saying, "We'll check with the president." While the idea of a tax refund using Doge dollars is being bounced around, Elon Musk clarified Doge's top priority in another post Wednesday morning. Replying to an X user sharing his thoughts on the 5K payout, Musk said, "We need to balance the budget as first priority." Doge says it already saved an estimated $55 billion as of Monday. The savings come from fraud detection and elimination, renegotiating or canceling federal contracts and leases, and workforce reductions, according to its website.
All right. So as of Monday, 55 billion. $55 billion. What is this? February? So we'll just start in March times 9 months. By the end of the year at this rate, it'll only be roughly $500 billion. So where's this other 1.5 trillion going to come from? You would think at this point, you're cutting all the big shit. You're finding all the big stuff that's just fraudulent, right? You only got 55 billion in the whole month. So if we do that for the rest of the year, how are we going to get these $5,000 dividend checks by the end of next year? Because 20% of 495 ain't 400 million or 400 billion. You see what I mean? None of this shit makes sense. It's just all talk. You would think if you're going in there and you're checking for fraud, if all you got is 55 billion after doing this for a whole month, you've already eliminated all of the biggest, I won't say waste, but all the biggest fraud. Like what else can you do unless you go into the military budget? It's not going to work. It's just not feasible. It's not possible. We'll forever be in debt. There's no way we'll ever get rid of that. It's just pathetic. They're going to get caught. Yeah, they're going to get caught up in court. It's all going to come tumbling and crumbling and bumbling and jumbling. They're going to drop the ball. It's going to be bad for them. In the end, Trump might skate up out of this. He'll have a lot of civil penalties that he'll have to pay. He won't get any jail time, obviously, because he's doing it as a president. But depending on, because his criminal cases, they have not been dismissed. They just been with prejudice until he, until he gets out. So they can still lock his ass up.
Speaking to Fox News' Sean Hannity, Musk said Doge's long-term goal is to cut $2 trillion in spending, but said reaching $1 trillion would be a success, sharing why he feels reducing the deficit is an urgent matter.
The overall goal is to try to get $1 trillion out of the deficit. And if the deficit is not brought under control, America will go bankrupt. This is a very important thing for people to understand. A country is no different from an individual in that if an individual can go back, so can a country.
Prior to President Trump's office, the Congressional Budget Office envisioned economics to $1.9 trillion this year, based on the amount of government spending. So far this fiscal year, which began in October, the deficit is already at $711 billion. Thanks for watching our news update. For more Treasury...
There you have it. There you have it. We're always going to be in debt. Like, what? First of all, Elon, you're not even an American, so shut the fuck up. But secondly, we're always going to be in debt. America has always been in debt. We'll never get out of it. And China's never going to call us on the debt, just for the simple fact that China is only staying afloat because of us. So no one's ever going to call. Every country's in debt. There's no country that isn't in debt, except for, like, I think Singapore is out of debt. It's only like 3 or 4 countries. I think, well, no, not even the UAE. The UAE, they got bread, but they trying to spend now because they're eventually going to run out of oil. So what they're trying to do is build up everything now and make their spot a tourist, you know what I mean, so they can continue to gather money like that. But yeah, there go Doge. What we got next, guys? What we got next? But you're not getting $5,000 check. Let me tell you that right now. That's not happening. What's going to happen to Elon? I'm pretty sure Trump will probably give him pardons. Definitely, when it's all said and done, Tesla. I mean, I'm invested in Tesla, so hopefully, you know, I can cash out before this 4 years. So that's what my end goal is. Wait for this 4 years to be over with, and then I'll see what it's looking like, and I'll cash out on my Tesla stock. You know, I never knew that Elon was the way he is until now, but he pretty much bought the country. So he's definitely going to get into once we get some competent people in the SEC, the IRS, it's going to take a while, but right now it's going to be a crazy 4 years. You're going to see some of the most wildest shit. Now, like the oligarchs, which you got in Russia, where the rich people, they run the country. That's pretty much what's going on here, because it's the richest person in the world. Well, outside of Putin, but we don't know his actual net worth. But they say that he's probably the richest person in the world. But Elon's the richest person on paper. So right now it's just going to be running rampant. The best bet for us is pretty much to wait for Trump and Elon to get into it. Once they start clashing, we'll see Trump turn on Elon. And the crazy thing is, Elon doesn't see it now, but Trump has the power. Elon got the money. He bought the election, but Trump has the power. It's only a matter of time before Trump starts to see Elon getting too much power and doing too much, and he starts to disregard what Trump is saying. Before Trump turns the FBI and everybody on him, this relationship is going to go south. Maybe, you know, this is the honeymoon phase, so maybe after a year and a half, it's definitely going to go south. When the midterms hit and we start voting on Congress, we're going to start seeing some swing states, because as we've seen with these farmers, they're going to start voting for people that are going to go against Trump. We start with the farmers, then we're going to go with the educators, because the Department of Education, they're getting everything slashed. So it's going to be a lot of people that start to turn on Donald Trump and the Republican Party, just for the simple fact is they didn't believe that any of this was going to happen to the regular folk. You see all the, I will vote for Donald Trump. Now all them motherfuckers is crying. So eventually you're going to see it's going to shift back. It all sounded good. Trump, he's going to skate out of this. He'll probably get some, like I said, some civil damages, but I doubt he gets any jail time because he'll probably make blanket pardons for himself. I definitely can see him doing pardons. Also, if you didn't see, um, there was a photo from the CPAC this weekend or yesterday. Let's see what Politico says. But they have a third term committee. I'm gonna try to find that picture for us. Let me see. Trump talks a third term amid growing concerns about a constitutional crisis. The president is barred from being elected more than twice by the Constitution. The Constitution expressly forbids presidents from running for a third term, but that doesn't stop or hasn't stopped Donald Trump from raising it repeatedly, and this time from an official White House event. Should I run again? You tell me, Trump said on Thursday before a crowd at East Room filled with mostly black supporters who were there for Black History event held just a month into his second term. Kodak Black, Lil Boosie, Rod Wave, they do not represent Black America. Now, they did make a statue for Kobe, which is, you know, I can agree with that. But everything else was just for show. The crowd, which included elected officials like Republican Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, Representative John James of Michigan, as well as political appointees and athletes like famed golfer Tiger Woods. That's because Tiger Woods, remember, Tiger Woods is a billionaire, so he's in for the tax cuts. Trump joked that the reaction from the crowd and his mere floating idea, which he frankly does before friendly crowds, but this is the first time he's done it at an official capacity, would draw controversy. The remarks were first reported by the Washington Post. The scene took place amid a backdrop of growing concerns that Trump is wielding his presidential power in a way that the Constitution doesn't permit. The Constitution's 22nd Amendment bars any president from being elected to more than 2 terms and was ratified some 74 years ago. But Trump's early actions in office have indicated he's willing to challenge the constitutional law by issuing spending freezes and on funds allocated by Congress and issuing orders to shutter departments and take over independent federal agencies. Basically, they're saying that Trump doesn't give a damn about what the Constitution says. And unless we have Supreme Court judges that are going to stand up and protect the Constitution like they were sworn into, it's pretty much a free-for-all. So that's why you hear me keep saying that the midterms, when we start voting on the Senate, you're going to have to try to switch this to the left, because remember, if it is a tie, J.D. Vance, the vice president, has the tie-breaking vote. So, I mean, of course, he could run, he could get elected. J.D. Vance ain't supposed to certify it, but it's going to be a little bit different this time. It's not going to be Mike Pence. Although Mike Pence was, you know, saying he's a piece of work himself, he did the right thing, and he's even condemning Donald Trump right now. So you gotta give some credit to Mike Pence. And I definitely give credit to Mike Pence, because they were threatening to hang that man. Like, because he didn't do what Trump wanted. And to me, that's fucked up, man. Like, so anybody that supports, like I said, I don't care who you vote for, but if you support this shit here, that means you support Russia. That means you support trying to dethrone, well, not dethrone, but dethrone democracy. All that shit, man, is wrong, man. Like, I served this country, and not to even be on no, you know, oh yeah, I'm a bear. But like, come on, man, that shit ain't right. And there's no sign that MAGA base is tiring of him. Hours after Trump made remarks about his third term, former advisor Steve Bannon echoed similar sentiment before the gathering of the Conservative Political Action Committee, known as the CPAC. The future of MAGA is Donald Trump, Bennett said in cheer crowd. We won Trump in 28. That's what they can't stand. A man like Trump comes along only once or twice in this country's history. Want Trump. Blah, blah, blah. Shut the fuck. There was a photo. Let me see. Trump's remark about a third term, first reported by Washington Post, comes as administration's official social media account on X. Oh yeah, with the caption that read, "Congestion prices is dead. Manhattan and all of New York is saved. Long live the king." Trump is known for his hyperbole and boasting of his own personal brand and image. He did call himself a king too. But the congestion fee, America, that was the first. If you don't know what a congestion fee is, it's pretty much don't drive downtown because it's already too much traffic. So if you drive downtown, it's a $9 fee. Now it's no different than you got the city tax in London when you drive into London, because they don't want a lot of traffic there. They want you to be able to move around, use the public transportation. So that's all it was. So, I mean, I know some people they ain't trying to pay it, but it is what it is, man. And he talking about he's gonna stop it. Now the governor of New York said, "Nah, we ain't playing that shit." So it's a lot of stuff going on, man. It's just every single day is something. Every single day is something. I'm trying to find the photo because they had. There was an actual committee banner that they had up. Oh no, we probably won't be able to find it. Nah, I can't find it, man. Oh well. Oh well. But yeah, that's what they got going on. If y'all got any topics, let me know. We're about an hour and a half in.
I've raised a lot of money for the next race that I assume I can't use for myself, but I'm not 100% sure because I don't know. I think I'm not allowed to run again. I'm not sure. Am I allowed to run again, Mike? I better not get you involved in that argument.
There you go, man. Third term. Y'all voting for him for a third term. I mean, it's only been a month. It's only been a month. Maybe things will get, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes they say the grass is greener on the other side. I don't know. Sometimes they say the grass is greener. So what we looking at? A third term? We gonna go ahead and put in for a vote for the third term? I might run for president in 28. I'll probably deactivate my YouTube, start a whole new one. But yeah, I might run for president in 2028. It don't sound like it's that hard, to be honest with you. I just gotta hire the right advisors around me. I can see me as a president. That'd be kind of cool. That could be kind of cool, man. All right, man. That's it, man. We got some free time, man. Damn, we done went up $4 million, man. Hell, he's already the oldest president. Let me be on your cat. I don't know. I gotta see your credentials, Eric. I don't know, man. I can't just be having anybody I can't just have anybody. You know, I'm gonna have I'll probably hire Future. Definitely gotta hire Future. Probably have Future be Homeland Security, make sure he hold it down for the, you know what I'm saying, for the home team. Trying to think. Michael Rainey. I probably have Michael Rainey as a Secretary of State. Probably hire 50 to be over the IRS because he want his money by Monday. You know what I mean? Nah, if y'all got some topics, we can go ahead and do that, man. I got free time. Secretary. Oh yeah, my dog Trill didn't put in at least 12 years. It was Trill, Secretary of Defense. Secretary of Defense. You ready for planes to drop out the sky another 4 years? So somebody, oh, speaking of planes, there's a speaking of airplanes, hit that like button for me, guys. Speaking of airplanes, there's a running joke going around now. There's a running joke going around. You know, everybody has been clowning, you know, like the airlines and stuff. All right. So unfortunately, there has been a lot of plane wrecks. And you know, we hear Shine Debbie, whatever the hell his name is, unqualified individual, talk about all the planes and try to blame it on Joe Biden's administration. Well, there's always been plane crashes. There's never been any to the point where we're getting this many happening, 9 within 3 weeks. Now, there is a joke going around where everybody talks about Spirit Airlines. Have you been on Spirit Airlines? Has anyone been on Spirit Airlines? Be real. All y'all ain't balling like that. Be real. Have you been on Spirit Airlines? Put a 1 in the chat if you've been on Spirit. Put a 7 in the chat if you've never been on Spirit Airlines. Like, be real. Be real. If you've been on the Spirit Airline, you know what I'm saying? It's cool. Like, it ain't. Hey, a plane is a plane, all right? A rose is still a rose. Baby girl, you're still a flower. Y'all been on Spirit. Don't y'all come in here. If you've been on Frontier, you done been on Spirit. Frontier, Spirit is all the same. Well, everybody clowns Spirit because they got small seats, horrible customer service. One thing you can't say about Spirit, Spirit has had no casualties, 0 casualties when flying Spirit. American Airlines, casualties. Delta, casualties. United, casualties. Southwest, casualty. Virgin, casualty. I don't even know no other airlines. If you fall up under those, Qatar, casualty. Lufthansa, casualty. Spirit is the only airline that has 0. After a string of incidents, some flyers are sticking with a surprising carrier, Spirit. Travelers frequently bemoan the ultra-budget airlines, tiny seats, frequent delays, baggage fees, and lack of complimentary snacks and drinks. People love memeing the carrier at the bare minimum treatment on Spirit's distinctive yellow planes. That couch looks nice. But online, the tides have turned in favor of the company that has ranked number 98 out of 100 on the 2024 Axios Harris poll on brand reputation, beating out only X and the Trump organization. Damn, they only beaten X and the Trump organization. People pointed out on social media that Spirit hasn't dealt with recent plane crashes like American and Delta Airlines, and that the budget airline uses an all-bus fleet after incidents on Boeing-built airplanes. And it's coming at a time when flight anxiety is rising. Google searches for "is it safe to fly" has spiked this month in the United States. Experts maintain that traveling in the United States is a safe proposition, as all airlines have met stringent safety regulations and that travelers still shouldn't hesitate to get on Boeing-built planes. But it's not enough for Spirit, most dedicated fans who have said they choose to fly the airline for reasons other than the $45 round trip tickets to Miami. Hey, when I come back to the States, ladies, if you want to come and see me, it's Spirit. It's Spirit. Don't think you're getting no business class Delta, no business class America. I want you to get to me safe and sound. We're not a hair follicle on your head messed up. It is Spirit for my baby. Woo wee. You get on that Spirit airline, yeah, you might have to fight. You might have to brawl to just board. I guess I wasn't supposed to say that. You might have to brawl, scrap. What did he say? You might have to be scraping and scrambling to get onto that flight in Spirit. I don't know what happened to me, but you're going to get there safe and sound. You might get into a brawl mid-air, but you're going to get there safe and sound. Natalie, a 31-year-old from Los Angeles, landed in Las Vegas on a Spirit jet when she found out that the Delta plane flipped upside down in Toronto. Even if the Spirit flight is the same price as American, Delta, or United Airlines, I'm going to fly on Spirit, she told CNN. I've flown Spirit multiple times in the last few months, and I felt super safe in them. The reason, she says, is because Spirit doesn't have any Boeing 737 MAX 9 planes, which she said she was wary of after watching a 2022 Netflix documentary about crashes of two 737 MAX planes. Now, I do remember that because you got the regular 737s and then you had the 737 MAX, but the update on it was like the software or something in the cockpit wasn't updating all the way, and that's why they were having their issues. Boeing is coming under scrutiny of the 737 MAX plane that the Alaska Airlines flight on which the door blew open midair in 2024. But neither of the two recent crashes in the plane rollover landed in Toronto and the American Airlines flight that collided in U.S. helicopter involved Boeing aircraft. Spirit isn't an exception by any means. There are a number of airlines such as Hawaiian Airlines, Qantas Airlines, Airways that have never had a fatal plane crash. And there are other airlines like JetBlue that have almost entirely Airbus fleets or with their fair share of dedicated flyers. The three biggest airlines, American, Delta, and United, all benefit from loyal credit, card point redeemers, but the social media course videos that receive hundreds and thousands of likes hasn't come out to support these other airlines' safety records the way it's polarizing budget airline. Yeah, Spirit, you might have to knuck as you bug. You might have to. The thing about Spirit, you might knuck if you buck on the ground when you in the air, you knocked out, you sleeping. You didn't got your ass whooped. They didn't put you in your seat. They didn't put your seatbelt on. They didn't flew you to your destination. When you get to your destination, they slap you a couple of times. Wake up. Welcome to Miami. Welcome to Miami. Spirit is a small airline, but there are those who love it. U.S. District Judge William Young wrote in his ruling blocking a merger between Spirit and JetBlue on antitrust grounds. To those dedicated customers of Spirit, this is for you. One TikTok user pointed out a video that more than 700,000 views that Spirit Airlines has never had a fatal plane crash. So yeah, your $100 flight might not come with leg room, but at least it comes with a safe landing. I mean, in my mind, I always think the worst. Like, I don't know, that's just human nature. I always think the worst of what's going to happen, but I just flew this weekend. I don't even know the airline's name. Trill, what airline do we fly on? Air Mito or something like that? I don't even know what the airline we flew on. It was operated up under Lufthansa. But shit, that little motherfucker, I ain't gonna lie to you. We was in that, man, we was flying over in that thing. Like, when we took off, it was a little rough. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, damn. I was in the seat. I'm looking out the window like, good luck. Good thing I had a parachute in my book bag. Dolomite. No, it was like Dolomite tea or something like that. But yeah, it was a little rough taking off. But then we got up off the ground. I go to sleep anyway, but no, it was air. It's like air Dolomite or something like that. But yeah, here you go. Air Dolomite. Yeah, this is what we flew here. He called it Dolomite. It's Air Dolomiti. Oh, it's an Italian regional airline owned by Lufthansa. Yeah, that's what we flew, man. Anything owned by like Lufthansa? Oh yeah, Lufthansa, Qatar. Oh, those are the airlines you want to fly on. Those airlines, ooh. Qatar, oh man, Qatar, the nicest. You get on Qatar Air, I got upgraded when I came back from Dubai in 2017? Yeah, well, I came back from Thailand because we went to Dubai, and then from Dubai we went to Thailand for 4 days. From Bangkok back to Frankfurt, oh, I was on a Qatar. They upgraded me too. Boy, let me tell you, you would have thought I was a Saudi prince or something the way I was up there kicking it. Mr. Moore, is there anything else? Yes, please. I'll take another glass of champagne. Matter of fact, make it 2. I'm getting toe up. 2. Bring the whole bottle. The whole bottle. Yeah. The whole bottle. Boy, that's the first time I ever was in business class on a long flight. And I said, woo, this is nice. Then I did business class to Brazil, but I'm not trying to pay that upgrade. It'll upgrade like $600. It's worth it, but it ain't worth it. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. So there you go, man. Spirit. I won't say Spirit is safer, but it hasn't had any accidents. So there you go. Speaking of flights, though, I do want to go. Y'all can throw some topics. Let me see something. Let me just see something real quick. My mind went to Rudy Ray Moore immediately. No, I was kind of like Pops off of you remember Pops on Soul Plane? Why'd I call him Pop? John Witherspoon. This is how I felt. Like I didn't do this. But
at Harbor Freight, we design and test our own tools and sell them directly to you. No middle.
This meal or your delightful perfume.
This is how I felt. They were bringing me champagne and shit. I said, "Ooh, this is how we living up here." This is 2017. This is my first time ever flying business.
Thank you. You're too kind.
No.
But I'm sure you're about
an average man.
Please.
Let me tell you about this love I had. It's about me. They love. These fingers got eyes on me. Let me move that other leg out the way. Move that dress up a little bit, girl. Oh.
Man, we ain't supposed to be watching this on this channel, but the hell with it. We talking about airlines. Hell no. Nah. Soul Plane is way better than Spirit.
Boy, moist, you're just as tender you can be. You a little frisky thing, ain't you? You got a little pop over here. Oh, you big, too. You ain't no baby.
You big, dude. You ain't no baby.
This is wonderful. I love this freaky stuff like that. Go ahead now. Just let yourself go. Come on now. I'm gonna let myself go too. I'm feeling something too. This ain't like me.
Oh man, I might watch this movie tonight.
You just go this quick. Yeah, but I'm going after.
I'm gonna let myself go. Oh my goodness, man. They don't make movies like this no more.
I'm going after.
Nigga said, oh man, they don't make movies like this no more, man.
Oh, boy.
That's how I felt, man. They were bringing me champagne glasses. I was in business class, dog. I ain't gonna lie to you. 2017, I think it was like a 9-hour flight from Bangkok to Frankfurt. I'm up there. I'm talking about throwing them champagnes. Mo. Hey, sir, your eyes are barely open. 2 more, damn it. 2 more. Well, you obviously can't curse it down, you know what I'm saying? But
I'm gonna tell you, where's my yak? Where's my yak? Oh.
I need to give me some yak tonight too, man. Shit. All right. Y'all got some topics, man. If not, I'm gonna get off and get ready to do like a Tubi movie or something, man. I gotta entertain myself tonight, man. Jeez Louise. Oh man. Now let me see what my dog talking about.
What it do, what it is. Where in the world is Mo.J today, man? You in K-Town? You shooting at the crib? You get done filming, man. I think I need to get back, man. So let me know if you're trying to roll, if you're trying to pull up. I gotta shoot tonight. I gotta shoot that song.
I don't know why these niggas be thinking I'm out the country all the time, man. Look, I let everybody know when my trips are coming up. If you want to roll, let me know. You know what I mean? But if I tell you I'm going on a trip, you better believe that I'm going on that trip. Because once I book that room, that's it. Me and my dog Trip, we had a little 2-bedroom apartment this weekend. Shit, we went to this little brunch. We was kicking it this weekend. London. I never go wrong with London. Never go wrong with London. I see they arrested that former Proud Boy leader who Trump pardoned. Oh man, all them fools is getting damn arrested. Well, as of right now, Black Jesus. I watched a couple of them. I mean, I didn't really get into it because I was over here when it first came out. So as of right now, March, I'm looking at either Egypt or Morocco. My homegirl Kayla, the one I went to Dublin with, she went to Morocco. She said that's definitely worth it. So in March, either Morocco or Egypt. April, I don't have anything. May, I'm looking at maybe Malta for Memorial. June, I don't have anything. July, I might be going back to Brazil for the annual trip that we take. August, for my birthday, I'll be 40 this year. I don't know where I'm going to be. October, though, I'm going back to Dubai for a week Well, maybe not a week. I probably just do 4 or 5 days out there, maybe 5 days. But June, I might not be able to go anywhere because I'm gonna be in charge in June. July, maybe Brazil. August. If I don't go to Brazil in August, if I don't go to Brazil in July, me and Trill gonna go to we're gonna go to Portugal in July. He's also going to the Kendrick Lamar tour July 2nd, I want to say. But I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make that or not. I was looking for tickets, but I'm not trying to pay no $300 for no Kendrick Lamar. Well, I'm not trying to pay $300 for no artist. That $300 is a flight. But yeah, so I think August, I'm not sure. August, I'll probably go to I'll probably be back in London for Carnival in August. That'll be my birthday trip. July would be my annual trip to Brazil. June, I don't have anything because I don't know how much time I can take leave. May, probably Malta. April, nothing planned. March, Morocco or Egypt. I prefer Egypt so I can see the pyramids because I only been to Egypt one time, but I never got to go see everything because I had a layover there. I made sure my layover is there. I do want to go to China at one point, and I do want to go to Japan, but those trips will be like something further out because it's going to take me a whole day to get there. And I might go to Thailand because my homeboy lives in Thailand now, so I have a place to stay. So all I need to do is get a flight there. So I might do that like early September. Oh, I already got AARP. I use my dad's AARP. I've been using AARP since shit. I was like 25. Like any discounts, I always apply AARP because I just use my pops. Don't nobody ever ask. They don't give a damn. You just put it in online and that shit. It is what it is. But SpaceX, hell no, I ain't going to no space. I ain't that space curious. I'll look at some space. Like I watched the space. If you go on my channel, well, I think it got copyright, but I was streaming the SpaceX launch in 2021. Uh, 10 o'clock. What we got, man? What we got, man? This is the more you know. If we ain't got nothing, you know, I might tomorrow I'm gonna do a live. If you haven't checked it out, check out 0 Day. Check out 0 Day on Netflix. I did episode 1. That'll be up tomorrow. I'll probably do 2, 3, and 4 because I watched all the way up to 4. 6 episodes. So episode 1 will be up tomorrow. I'll probably knock out all 6 of those this weekend. The Court of Gold, I watched episode 1 and 2. I started 3, but I don't know if you guys want a breakdown of like a documentary. You know what I mean? It's really just them talking about the preparation of getting ready to play the games, and then they interview team like Jokic, Wemby. So I don't know if you guys are really interested in that. I don't have that many sports like watchers on the channel. So that's why I really originally wasn't going to watch it, but I watched the first 2.5 episodes. So I might do that. I mean, it'll give me a reason to put on my Olympic gear just for the simple fact I went to the Olympics. You know what I mean? Oh, and my team, DeMarcus, I'm a Spurs fan, but I like the Clippers because Kawhi is there. I need to find a good documentary we can watch, though. That's what I really want to watch, a documentary. I need to learn some shit, man. I feel like I'm getting stupid. See, you can join AARP at 18 years older. Man, I knew you could use AARP. I've been using AARP for a decade. Yeah, you can sign up at 18. Now you don't get all the benefits, but yeah, you can use a because I was using my dad's and no one ever questioned me or anything. Yeah, man, y'all better read some shit, man. You never know until you check. Nah, I haven't been following no Pop the Balloon at all, to be honest with you. Nah, like I told y'all, I've been using AARP for decades, man. Like on some real shit. When I moved to Atlanta, my mom was like, "Man, use your dad's AARP card." So he gave me one of his other ones. Now, obviously, you can't use it for everything, but yeah, when you online, you can put in your AARP number and they let you use it. You get discounts and shit. Yeah. Now, obviously, you don't like the major discounts you don't get, but I know for sure I was using it when I was like 21, 22 years old. Matter of fact, I might sign back up. Matter of fact, let's do a little deep dive. This is the more you know, guys. So here we go. Let's see the benefits of joining AARP. All right. AARP. We did not know the AARP. For just $15, you get a full year membership. Pay $15 today, save 25% for your first year. Continue using the member benefits without interruption. Cancel anytime. $20 off a Walmart annual membership. British Airways. Oh shit. $65 to $200 off round trips purchase for British Airways. Oh, you know I need that. 35% off a budget. You renting some trucks. 15% off of Denny's, Dine In, Outback Steakhouse, 10%. I wonder, can you use this with your military discount? Ooh. Mo Southwest Grill. I ate there one time. Auntie Annie's. Ooh, Carrabba's. The Italian Grill, 10% off a dine. Oh, Lord. Paramount Plus, 10% off. Man, we missing out. Free plays, concerts, musical, dance performances. Oh, 35% off of Avis, Payless, budget trucks. 10% off per line. Damn. Norton, UPS store, 20% printing services. Y'all go up there and print off y'all pictures and stuff. Alexa emergency assistant from Amazon, 25% off emergency. Oh. Wyndham, 10%. Now, hey, now if y'all really want to, now they say timeshares are a scam. If you use them right, I got a timeshare. My timeshare paid off. Now I got to pay. Obviously, I got to pay like the fee. But yeah, Wyndham. Ooh, when I be booking for the family, when we go on trips, let me get a 3-bedroom. All I gotta do is go to the front. I gotta pay the cleaning fee for like each day, but like $50 a day. Shit, man, I be getting. Hey, I need top floor, no neighbors. Yeah, Wyndham. I use them for my timeshare. Yeah, I'm an old soul, man. I may look a little bit young. I don't feel it. I'm an old nigga, but I got my parents are they are well-oiled machines. All right. My pops is 74. My mom's is 68. So my parents are older. You know what I mean? My parents are y'all grandparents. You know what I mean? Well, not all of y'all, obviously, but yeah, my parents were always like grandparents' age. Well, hell, nowadays a grandma could be like fucking 28 years old, knowing how they get down nowadays. But yeah. Valvoline, instant oil change, 15% off, stay in car. Ooh, you know, oil change. I got my oil change in the Beamer the other day, $70. I remember getting oil change for $30. Allstate roadside, $5.50 a month. Man, y'all better get on this AARP. Calm sleep and medication and relaxation app, $21 off the Calm annual subscription. Shit, I don't know about that. I just turn on YouTube. All right, AARP rewards, community. Let me see. All right. So they got some shit on here. And else that I've been using AARP discounts for 20 years, especially the hotel stays. Now, if I don't have my old Sony laptop, but man, when I used to stay in them hotels and I used to I was a platinum member at Marriott. I was a platinum member at Holiday Inn because we used to get the points. Our boss would get our flight mileage and he would always go to like China and shit. John O'Connor, that was my dog. He was a little short white guy, but he used to always go to like back and forth to China and shit with all of our flight points. But we got the points to the hotels. Man, I was a platinum member. I ain't gonna lie to you. When I joined the military, man, I was tearing up all them points, man. Now I'm a nobody. But yeah, I was a platinum member at Marriott. I used to stay at the Residence Inn. I like the Residence Inn. Courtyard Marriott is good, but the Residence Inn was the best one. I stayed in Portland, the Residence Inn in Portland. I stayed up there for 6 months. Man, when I got up out of there, I had so many points, man. I had like, what was it, 2.5 weeks worth of rooms? Man, let me see something. See, we always stayed at the Marriott. So we stayed at the Hilton every now and then, but most cities we would go to the Marriott. We would go to the Marriott because the Marriott, the government discount that the government rate that they gave, man, they would always hook ours up. And plus, when you go to the Hilton don't give you everything you need if you're gonna be staying somewhere extended stay. So that's a good thing about like the Residence Inn. It's like a full-blown apartment. And when my brother came up to Portland, they were out of room, so he had to come and stay with me. I had a pull-out couch, so I had my king size bed. So when you came in, I had when you come in the house, I had a closet, and to the right, it was a couch, a pull-out couch, and the little TV. It wasn't a flat screen or anything, because this is like 2000. My brother graduated 6, so 2007. It was like a regular like 38 or 36 inch TV, but then I had the bar with the kitchen, and then you can see like it's basically a studio, but then you have my king size bed, my room. My little brother used to stay over there, shit, and then he got his own room. It's definitely the one I was 10 in. Yeah, Resident Inn, that was my spot. And then I used to stay when we were in DC, me and my brother, we were in Residence Inn. Was it on K Street? Like, is it 17th and K Street? Man, y'all don't understand, man. When I used to travel, when I was a young shit, just playing with my toys, man, that was a spot, man. Like this is where is it at? So Portland is the first place I ever took a train. Because at the end of the train, the Motor Center, this is where the Trailblazers play. And we stayed next to this mall. So you got the convention center. And where's the mall at? But yeah, Portland is the first time I ever took a train in a city, because Kansas City, we ain't had no trains. Was this it? No, man. This is a convention center. You had to go past. There was an AMC theater next to the Damn, what they do? Tear all this shit down? Because it's a federal building. Anyway, Portland is the first place I stayed that had a train. I thought that shit was so dope, man. I used to take the train downtown, but then you go across this bridge over here, and all the bums lived up under there. Oh man, that was a scary sight, man. I used to want to get off and fight them niggas, man, because them niggas would be throwing shit at the train when you go by. Is it the convention center? But yeah, you should stay in Portland. And then when I stayed in DC, I think it's on K Street. $14. Where's K? Yeah, here go K Street right here. Yep. And this is where I used to stay down in DC. Residence Inn. Right here on the top floor. They had little suites, little 2-bedroom suites. Me and my brother used to stay in there. Man. The good old days, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I wish I probably would have worked. I'd have still been working there, man. I love traveling, man. I love traveling. And the thing I always remember, there was this beautiful woman that worked the front desk. This ain't the right side. It was a beautiful woman that worked the front desk, and I remember my brother tried to holler at her, and that nigga asked her, "Does she want to get some sushi?" She told that nigga no. She told my brother no. Let me see something. Hey, Hen. Hey, Hen, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, are you busy?
What you think?
Nah, just real quick. Hey, you remember when we stayed in the Residence Inn in DC?
Yeah.
And you asked the you asked the lady at the front desk that she wants some sushi. Hey, the elevator door was closing. She was looking at us like, if y'all don't get y'all bum asses out of here. Nah, I didn't want nothing, man. I'm on a live, and I was just telling them, like, man, Residence Inn was like the best Marriott. But like, yeah, we stayed there for like 3 months. Like, man, the Residence Inn, there's nothing you can compete with that. Nah, all right, bro, man. Hey, that was the best thing John did, was get us that 2-bedroom suite instead of that little 1-bedroom. I'm like, I need a living room. You feel me?
All right, bro.
All right, man. Oh man, the adventures we had in DC, man. I used to get on the train by myself, get on the blue line. One time I was trying to go to the Pentagon Mall. Like, I went too far. I don't know how I ended up in Southeast DC, but then I got off the train and I was in the hood. I'm like, nigga, what the fuck is going on? I had a homeboy that lived out there, but I wasn't on his stop. Man, I don't know where the hell I was, but when I got off of that, this is where I'm looking around like, these ain't the same niggas I grew up with. These niggas is a little bit different. They were wearing Nike boots and shit out there. They had them big ass puffer coats. Like, where I'm from, you wore Carhartts and shit like that. But yeah, I was out there in DC, man, wilding out. I went to Howard's homecoming one year. Well, I didn't go to like the actual homecoming. I went to the game. That shit was crazy. Yeah, man. I used to be out there in DC, man. Shit, you'd be surprised, man. I've been a lot of places. That's how I knew about like Silver Springs and shit. I ride the train up. One of the homeboys who worked with, he lived in Silver Springs, so we go up there, fuck around up there, PG County, all that. Like I used to go to all them places. We went to the University of Maryland. We took the train up to that stop, and then we called a cab and went to. We were walking around campus. Yeah, man, I used to do all that shit. I was like 19 years old, and back then I had a bankroll. You know what I mean? I'm not one of those people of what I used to be like, but man, I used to have per diem check. Hey, you going to DC? DC was $64 a day. And you 19 years old, you got a goddamn 20 years old, they giving you a per diem, 64 times 90 days. Boom, they giving you a $5,700 check, tax-free. I'm 20 years old. Because when we went to DC, I remember the playoff game. So one night, me and him, we went to the strip club. And I had a fake ID. I had my homeboy's fake ID from back at home. And I was using it out in DC. So we went to the strip club. We in there, we drinking and shit. You know what I'm saying? We just kicking it. But I'm 20 years old. I'm walking around with a bankroll on me. Like I got, back then, like, I first started traveling at 19. I traveled from 19 up to 24. Man, I used to walk around like fucking $5,000 cash on me, just because I get my regular check. Like when I first started off, I made $12.36. When I started traveling and they knew I wasn't going home, they promoted me and my brother the managers without the responsibility. So we just got manager pay. I went from $12.36 an hour at 18 years old to by the time I was 20, I was making $25 an hour. Oh man, my checks was coming in because you're getting overtime, and then they give you a $5,000 check tax-free. Oh man, I'm walking around with all kind of cash on me. There was some club in DC you go to, and the floor is like made out of rubber, and Young Jock Is Going Down came out. Man, we in there, you could feel the floor moving. I'm talking about some of the most beautiful women I ever seen. I'm 20 years old. I'm talking to the 24, 25 years old. They're like, damn, what you doing out here? And I was wearing tall tees back then, but man, the 2000s was a different type of time. You know what I'm saying? I had them big ass polos on, Coogee and shit. But man, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Leaving from Kansas City, I never seen no women like that. I was in I said, damn. And you know, I got offered a job out there too. It's a black guy, cool as hell. He had a Hummer. He had one of them new Hummers. And he offered me and him a job. But man, we were traveling. It was like, man, we're getting too much money on the road. You know what I mean? Too much money. Like, I'm 20. The most I made, I was at 22 years old because I was on the road for a whole year with my per diem. Man, I made at 22 years old, man, I made almost $70,000, bro. Because I was on the road. And when you go to the small places, you get that overtime from the time you leave the hotel to the time you get back. So you working 10-hour days because you might have to drive an hour to the reservation, work your 8 hours, drive your hour back. So you getting your damn 40 hours a week by Thursday. So then Friday is all overtime. So Friday of each week is just all overtime. Plus you're getting $1,500 minimum off of per diem, and you might be out there 2-3 months. Oh man, I was stacking up so much bread, man. Sheesh. Nah, Club Love is the one that's like 4 floors, ain't it? I think. I don't know. But yeah, man, like, so that's when I became comfortable because they eventually split me and my brother up. The first trip ever, he went to Idaho. The first trip I went on was to Montana. Me and him went to Montana. After Montana, I ended up going down to we both went to Montana. From there, from Montana, I went down to Arizona. So that's how I got familiar with Arizona. And then they sent his ass, they put him on a whole nother team. He went with the Albuquerque crew and he went to DC. So I worked from January of 2005 till Easter weekend of 2005. I was down in Phoenix, and Easter weekend, they said, hey, man, they need help out in D.C. I'm like, shit, it is what it is. And that was the longest flight I ever took at that time. From Phoenix, Arizona to D.C. That was the longest flight I ever took. They booked my flight Friday. I left Sunday on Easter. And I went to D.C. And then that's when we had our separate rooms. And we stayed out in D.C. for 2 months. And then from there, we went to Pagosa Springs. And that's when we started going down to Albuquerque. And then from Albuquerque, we got split up again. He went to, well, we weren't in Albuquerque. He ended up going to Albuquerque. And then I ended up going to Casa Grande. Then we met back up and we were both in Wyoming. So I stayed in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Man, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. That was a good experience, man. Just out there traveling. I got to experience being broke and having money. And that's the way, that's what really made me as frugal as I am, because I always tell y'all that story about I didn't know what overdraft fees were. And I was negative $400 in my account because I'm pulling, like, they let me go to the ATM. I'm wilding out. I'm 19 years old. I don't know about overdraft. I'm negative 400. I promise you, as soon as I got back, went to that bank, I said, how y'all let me pull money I ain't got? And you know, every time you pull money or you use it, it was $35. So I was like negative 480 or something. I closed my account and I opened up an account with Bank of America. I never paid that. Now as an adult, I wish I would have, because it did hit my credit. But at that time, I'm like, man, fuck that bank, man. A negative 409, like, man, the hell with that. So then I switched to Bank of America, and I used Bank of America until I joined the military, and then I switched over to USA. But yeah, man, like being on the road, you by yourself, really, man. I had to figure shit out, you know what I mean? Because I graduated, I started working that job, and then I started traveling. When I'm on that road, I go home. Maybe every 2 months, I go home for 2 weeks. Be at my mom's house, give my mom like $200 for the 2 weeks that I was there. Because obviously, you know, it was way cheaper back then. And then I'm like, hey, I'm out. I'm gone, man. I'm on the road, man. Fuck it. So that's why, I don't know, man. I'll never forget that. That was like my first real job. And then I started, like, we stopped traveling for a little bit. And then that's when I worked down in the caves. And I became real proficient with the scanner and shit, became the #1 indexer. So that's why they were like, man, if you're going to get on that road, man, we'll make you a supervisor. And I was like, man, just keep me on the road, man. Just keep me on the road. And then we got laid off. And then I got stabbed. Yeah, well, I got stabbed before we got laid off. One of the weekends I went home, that's when I got stabbed here. From, y'all can still see the little, you know, seeing a little bruise from there all the way up. I got stabbed in 2007. Niggas tried to kill me, man. Crazy times. Crazy times. But yeah, man, that road to make you a man, you know, I ain't gonna lie, I was coming home flexing on niggas. I had the 2 TVs in the headrest. I had the TV in the dash. I had the old school. I had my Acura. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, I was stunting. You know what I'm saying? I was beefing with niggas. But you know what I mean? I made it, man. So it was definitely worth it, man. You know, I can't complain. But let me see what my boy's talking about. It was 10:20. I'm gonna do a live tomorrow, probably during the daytime for you all. I know I gotta definitely knock out all of those videos, well, at least 3. But if y'all got any topics, let me know, man. I got a little bit of time. I thought we was gonna get off here at 2 hours, but the hell with it. The hell with it. Real quick, let me show you guys something else. So I had this white boy I worked with. His name was Chris. His name was Chris. And when we were down in Arizona, Chandler, Arizona. We stayed right across the street from the mall too. Where the hell is the mall at? Oh man, Elon's baby mama, man, ain't nothing, man. Like he got enough money, he can have as many baby mamas as he want, man. Like I seen that, but I mean, then just give her a couple $1 million, she'll shut up. But yeah, I stayed at this Residence Inn right here across the street from the mall. Man, let me tell you. My homeboy Chris, he went and got us some weed. Man, so after work, me and him came up to the room, we smoked. They talk about, hey, we about to go eat. Like all of us that were working, because we had 3 rental cars. So it's like 8 of us. Because this is before I flew to DC. So I was in charge of like all the logistics shit. I used to work down in the basement because it's hot as hell. But we smoked, man. I ain't never been that high before in life. It felt like when he left, I closed the door because I had the cans of Febreze and I was like spraying everything down in the room. All I remember is closing the door and I sprayed like, but it felt like my feet, I was sitting down in the air and like my body just floated to the bed. I sat down in that bed, man. I ain't wake up till like 10 o'clock at night, man. I was done. I was like, dog, whatever they got down here in Arizona, this shit is different. Said I got some words about it. It's a double standard. I mean, it's not really a double standard though. I mean, who are we comparing Elon to? You know what I mean? Who are we actually comparing Elon to? Diddy got multiple baby mamas, but he's a billionaire. No one cares. No one's like, hey, Diddy's messed up for having all those kids. You know what I mean? Like when they're on a whole nother level. It's not like we're comparing Blow Joe. You know what I mean? I don't. Shit, Donald Trump got multiple baby mamas. I mean, at a certain level, it really don't care. Like no one really cares, in my opinion. I mean, like the whole Elon thing, he's the richest man in the world. So what can you really say about him having multiple baby mamas? You know what I mean? It's not like any of his baby mamas ever gonna be hurting for anything. So when it comes to like him or any billionaire, I don't really, you know what I mean? I don't really. I mean, it's Elon. Shit, he ain't American anyway. Elon, he's South African, so I don't really. He ain't no double standard of mine. He ain't no American. But yeah, let me go ahead and get out of here. I'm gonna probably do a live for sure tomorrow during the daytime. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start doing lives in my living room because I do have it somewhat put together. I got a couple of things I want to put in my case, but for the most part, I do want to do some lives up there. I think I want to do the Tubi movies up there, and I'm gonna try to do some rearranging of the studio. So when I do my lives, but if you haven't checked out 0 Day on Netflix, it's pretty good. Just 6 episodes. Episode 1 will be up tomorrow. I'm gonna try to finish 2 and 3 recap, maybe 4, but I gotta watch the last 2 episodes. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm Mo J. This is the Mo You Know. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. Have a plan. It is the weekend. You know. Arrive alive. That's all I can say, man. I always harp on that, man. Don't drink and drive. Don't do anything silly. I know I'll be wilding out, but don't be me. Be better than me, all right? Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. I'm Moda Jane. This is the more you know.
Yeah.